Hey guys, how are you? GC, New York Rick. Things good? Missed you
Hello.
guys.
As good as they can get. How you doing?
Not bad, not bad. Last time we spoke, you put out the thing about the haircut. Any takers, by the way? Update there?
Yeah, there's definitely some candidates who have made their voices known and loud and clear. Again, those are the ones who are going to get prioritized. So
But there's no
tweet me,
official winner.
show me. No, we got to leave this open for a little bit more. We got some
Yeah.
time. It's not even going to happen next week. It'll happen the week after that. So what is
Yeah.
that?
People
September
hitting me up
19th.
about it, Rick.
Oh yeah?
Listen, they better be hitting me up about it. That's the
That's
thing.
what I told them. I keep sending them to your Twitter, and they're just like, "Well, are you gonna let them know that I said something?" I'm like, "Nope." You go to his
Nope.
Twitter, and that's where you find out.
Come to me, show me your work.
I've
Let's
said
get a
the same,
haircut.
by the way. A lot of people have come to me. I was like, yo, I'm not the one getting the haircut. Send it to this guy. There are some people who are actually saying, you should have a non-barber do it just for the laugh.
Listen,
Kill a shot, right?
I'm up for that. I'm up for that as long as they can see what I'm concerned about is this hair at the end of the day, this hair is going to charity. It needs to be handled properly, cared for, done properly, collected, all that type
Right.
of thing. I can't just have you with a trimmer just
That's
ruining
true.
it and shoving it in there. Well, phrasing. Just,
Wow.
cutting it off there and making it making it a messy situation. So
Okay, so stay tuned.
we need a pro, but listen, I'd be open to that idea if the right concept was pitched.
Okay, so guys, I want to tell you about my trip a little bit because I have
Yes,
a lot
please
to.
do.
I feel like this is when someone
Talk us
comes
through.
over. Someone comes over to your house after a trip, and you do the old slideshow. Now they don't really care, but they have to pretend like they care. But I think you guys will care about this one. So there's a lot to get to here. So Frank, I hope you're paying attention as well because you come into to play a few times.
Is there a slideshow prepared?
Unfortunately, there's nothing. I probably should have had that ready.
Yeah.
Definitely should have.
Would have been
Don't
nice.
reference the slideshow if you don't have
disappointing.
one. Yeah.
You're right. I should have had some B-roll. Anyway, if you've been following along, you saw a lot of the stuff. So there's a lot of so mostly like if you're going to the UK, historically, you take the red-eye flight. Like you'll take the nighttime flight so that you get there in the morning and then you start your day fresh. For various reasons, I decided to, defy, I guess, logic, buck the trend, whatever you want to say, and I took a morning flight, which means that you leave at I guess it's 8 a.m., but then you land at 8 p.m. with the time difference, right? So I land at 8 p.m. Now, here's the thing. I'm getting on the plane and I find out that we were supposed to go to this Nottingham Forest game against Man City, but I find out that the route in which we were taking kind of got blocked off and there were no tickets to the game. So I decide to reach out to my good friend Chris Wheatley of Nottingham Forest. He is their PR director, media director, whatever they call it over there. And within minutes, this guy hooked me up with 2 tickets. Now, not only did he hook me up with 2 tickets, he hooked me up with 2 tickets in the away end, as they say. Now, as you guys may know, in European soccer, football, if you will, it's not like if I went to a Bills-Giants game in MetLife, I'm just sitting among, the Jabroni Giant fans. They actually put all the away fans together, which makes for a way better experience, by the way, like 1,000 times better because you're all together, you're all chanting together. Okay, we'll get to that in a moment. So now I feel better because I was feeling like, what the hell did I do this for? Now I feel good. I'm excited about going. So I get there at 8:30. By the time I get to my hotel, which is like an hour and a half away from the airport, it's like 10 o'clock. You go through customs, this and that. I'm staying where they had the Olympics, the 2012 Olympics, right next to the stadium over there, which is now the home of West Ham. So nothing's open. It's like desolate. This place used to be swampland, but now they built all these condos and hotels, but there's nothing to eat. So a couple of recommendations, get a little sushi. I'm feeling good. West Ham is actually checking into my hotel. While I'm checking in, I was checking in right next to the manager. I was like, wow, this is going swimmingly. This is very exciting. All right. So can't fall asleep because it's like 10 p.m., but it's only 5 p.m., so I would say to anyone, go with the red eye. The reason I'm telling you all this is taking that morning flight kind of screws you up. Go with the red eye sleep and start the day. Anyway, start the next day. We go out, go on a little run, and then we go on our journey to Etihad Stadium because I got my tickets, right? So I go with my guy Raj from BT Sport. He meets me there. I go on the train by myself. It was actually around this time last week. And I get off at the train, nice little 2-hour trip. Actually, I was getting onto the train and there was a young man listening to the show while I was getting onto the train. He was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. What the hell are you doing here getting onto this train to Manchester? Incredible. Get off the train. It's a beautiful day. It's like 5 o'clock. Beautiful day. I take the 30-minute walk from the train station to Etihad, and it is just gorgeous out there. I'm just walking through a neighborhood. Like I'm literally walking through people's backyards, no idea where I'm going. And then all of a sudden, in the distance, I see it, Etihad Stadium, all blue, people out and about. I mean, what an atmosphere. It was incredible. We wait a little bit. Out comes Chris Wheatley and Dane Murphy, the CEO of Nottingham Forest, fellow Connecticut boy, fellow American. He says he wants to personally thank us. They told me that they saw our video talking about Nottingham Forest in the office and were freaking out. And he wanted to personally thank us. And by doing so, he wanted to give me this jersey right here with my name, 33. There it is. I mean, what an honor. This is an official Nottingham jersey,
That's so
Nottingham
awesome.
Forest jersey.
Incredible.
With
Now, why is it 33?
33, of course, for my main man, Patrick Ewing, my favorite athlete of all time, had to choose it. What an honor. And not only did he do this for me, he freaking, like, they presented this to me like I was the newest signing on the team outside the stadium. Everyone's wondering, who is this guy? It's in the middle of the whole transfer window. That whole thing is coming to a close. And it's like, who is this guy holding up this jersey? Everyone was very, very confused. So then the story gets better. So then we go in and all the Nottingham fans are together. Now, a few of them, you know, they're nice. They recognize me. What the hell are you doing here? Helwani's sitting in the Nottingham section. I'm just loving life. We're all the way at the top. Now, some people were joking about this and they were like, oh, you know, why are you sitting in the fifth last row? No, I was among the people. There's a reason they call it Etihad Stadium. They're so corporate. They're so boring. They're like vessels. There's no chanting, no singing. The only section that had any life to it was our section. We're standing, we're singing, we're chanting. I didn't sit down. You're not allowed to sit down when you're sitting in the away section. You're literally standing up the entire time, singing, dancing. I mean, it was amazing. And they're coming up with these hilarious chants on the fly. Like Nottingham goes down 3-0. That freaking Holland guy hits a hat trick. And then they're like, we're going to win 4-3. We're going to win 4-3. I mean, it's like, how do you guys think of this stuff? It's great. On the fly. I love it. Anyway, when we get to our seats, this is a funny story. I won't go too inside, but when we get to our seats, the person sitting right in front of us, let's just say, kind of sticks out among the crowd. So we get to talking very quickly because she hears my accent, yada, yada, yada. We're talking. She's New York Rick won't know who I'm talking about here, but you will, GC. She's Jesse Lingard's girlfriend.
Wow.
All right? Jesse Lingard, who's like the star of the team, transfer from Man U, didn't play that game. A little controversially, they sat him. She's there to watch him, made the trek to Manchester. He doesn't play. So we're getting into the whole story, how they met, this and that, my story, why I'm here, why I'm supporting them. So that was a fun little side note. Anyway, they lose 6-0. Incredible experience. The people couldn't have been nicer. And the marketing guy on the team comes up to me, thanks me for the support. Now, I had a couple of jabrones come who don't even follow me. Oh, you took tickets away from us. Oh, you're not even a real fan. They
In person or on social media?
No, bullshit artists on social media. No one, everyone who was there was so nice to me. Meanwhile, there were some empty seats among the away fans. And B, I didn't take tickets. Like, that would be like me as a lifelong New York Knicks fan. You would know this, New York Craig, looking at Celebrity Row, first row at MSG, and being like, oh, Howard Stern isn't a real fan. Shut the fuck up. They gave me 2 tickets, okay? Like, what are you complaining about? They're acting like I went in there and like took a crap in the middle of city ground. I'm here supporting your club. It's amazing.
This is where you ask them to show their slips. This is where I want to see you trying to buy the tickets and you weren't able to successfully do it. Otherwise, shut the hell up.
Shut the hell up. And by the way, like I said on Twitter, I freak every single day. I come to this studio wearing the hat of a baseball team that died 18 years ago, okay? Look at this hat every fucking day, all right? You know, spare me your sob story on loyalty and trying to prove how loyal you are. Like, get the joke, all right, guys? We're having a good time here. And all the Everton fans, I got 2 words for you as well. We had a great time. I just want you to know the actual leaders of the club came up to me and personally thanked me for the love we have shown them. get a shot right over there. We've got our Nottingham Forest banner up in the studio. Like, Nottingham Forest is the official club of this show and this studio. We know this.
I don't know if you've seen they're low down in the table. What happens if they get relegated?
No, this is for life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
A lot of
Just
people have
making
asked me
sure.
this. This is for life. I will never support another soccer club. Like, of course, Canada soccer. People are going to be, oh, aren't you a Nottingham fan in the World Cup? I bet you I'm going to hear this. No, of course the national team. You know, like they just
If
love to
someone
jump on
says
this.
that, I mean that's ridiculous.
Yes. No. As far as the Premier League is concerned, this is a Nottingham Forest, show studio. Anyway, drive back 6 hours. It takes us to come back. We get back 6 Thursday. Now I'll go a little faster with the story, but I thought you guys would appreciate my experience that Eddie had. By the way, if you've
I'm
never,
jealous. It sounds incredible.
if you've never been to a Premier League game, please do yourself a favor at some point.
None of us have.
Yes, I just want to mention
He has at this point.
they invited all of us to go to the city ground. They said you're all welcome. Pick a game, and we'll have a blast. I think they'd roll out the red carpet for us.
I'm so there.
Next day, have my sit down with Trips, Triple H. A lot of people enjoyed that. That was very lightning. Then I went to Cardiff. Let me tell you, Frank, big in Cardiff. Believe it or not.
Huge
Frank,
in Cardiff.
A lot of people were coming up to me about you in Cardiff in particular and asking about Mysterious Frank. It was very strange. I don't know if you guys know. I don't know if you've ever been to Cardiff. There are legit castles in Cardiff. Like, it's not a gimmick. The place, this Principality Stadium, which is where they had the event, 62,000 plus, is in the middle of the town. And then the town is just surrounded by castles, bars, and restaurants. It's one of the most unique places that I've ever been to. And as I said on Twitter, if the UFC is looking for a stadium with a closed roof to host Leon Edwards' first title defense, this is the spot. It couldn't be more perfect. Only 2 hours from Birmingham, 2.5 hours from London. It could not be more perfect for an event like this. I know they're worried about the weather. They're talking March, April. Wembley has a little bit of a closing, but there's still that opening there. If it rains, you're in trouble. So went around town, people loving it. Saw my man Leon on Saturday, had a little sit down with him. That's up right now. And then went to the event, which was incredible. Went backstage after the event, spoke to Tyson Fury. I mean, not to give myself the old Barry H, spoke to a boxing champ, a UFC champ, a wrestling champ. I mean, we're at Premier League. I mean, it was kind of like a grand slam in terms of events and people that we were speaking to. And then got back, spoke to Karrion Kross, who's a big star in WWE, big-time jiu-jitsu guy. Like, there's a lot of, MMA guys back there in the locker room among the boys in the back, as they say. And it was just an incredible trip. But then the event ended just as, like, the main card was really getting rolling for Paris. So I got to watch all those fights. It was just a nice little Saturday night, I must say.
Sounds
Any
like a whole
thoughts?
great
Sounds like-
weekend.
Yeah, it was great.
Did you watch the Nottingham game on Saturday morning?
We were following. You know what's a weird thing about that? That game was at 3:00. This is something I learned. 3:00 game locally. Did you know that all the 3 p.m. I didn't know this. All the 3 p.m. local games are blacked out in England or in the UK. You know why?
Yeah.
Because they want you to go support your local club and buy tickets. This was explained to me. So you can't watch it. You have to actually watch it on an illegal stream. Imagine that in America. Like, oh, the 1 p.m. NFL games are blacked out. What the hell? So there was no way to watch it.
Oh, you didn't miss one.
Yeah, it was a bit of a heartbreak. Up 2-0. They lost 3-2. Anyway, it was a tremendous trip, and now I'm back. And now we're here to talk about Khamzat, Nate. But could we give ourselves a little clap? I mean, well, anyway. Oh yeah, I wanted to say thank you to everyone. A lot of people came up to me. A lot of people were very nice. One young man, I forget his name, came up to me at the same. Could we go to camera 3? We did a live show there in Cardiff, gave me an Arnold Allen signed card, 6 of 10, and just refused to not let me walk away with this. I was like, please, I do not want to take this from you. And he's like, it would be the honor of my life if you brought this to the studio and kept it in the studio. I want this to be in the studio. You have been good to Arnold. You've had him on the show. I love your show. I wish I remember this young man's name, but there it is. I promised you I would bring it in, and I brought it in, and now it will remain in the studio. So, young man in Cardiff, thank you very much for this. I felt horrible taking it.
Too, and autographed.
Panini Select.
Oh my gosh, I might have to start ripping some packs soon.
Oh, we've gotten really into it.
It looks fun.
It's a lot of fun. And by the way, UFC and WWE, I know you don't care about that, but UFC on fire now. Like the Panini cards, they're
the
beautiful.
holographic like takes me back to like collecting Pokemon cards back in the day. Yu-Gi-Oh, really deep cut.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Disrespect.
Arnold Allen, there it is. Yeah. So Parlay Pals, We nailed it, right?
Nailed it. Plus 226.
Wow.
You are right. I didn't think about it until you just mentioned that.
No one mentioned us.
Real quiet when we hit, and when we lose, every single person lets you know. I love it.
So who was it again? It was Benoit Saint-Denis.
Yeah, I mean, we got the graphic.
Oh yeah, let's go.
You know, make it easy for the people. Let everyone see all the names in green. We moved to 4-2 now.
Look at that.
Plus 226. We're now 4-2. We're doing 4-leg parlays. Obviously, we're going to lose some here and there.
Yeah, I didn't see anyone being like, "Oh, the boys are back." There it is.
I got a couple people, but
you did?
Yeah, I got a couple people.
Nassoldine Imavov, Moneyline, hit. Benoit Saint-Denis, hit. Whitaker, hit. Frank, you got to be honest.
A little nervous?
A little nervous?
I was a little nervous, but I was also on an airplane.
Oh,
so,
you didn't watch
You
it?
didn't have to experience it.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that. Plus 226. Was that our biggest one?
That we've hit, I think so, yeah.
That's huge.
Good work, boys. Good work. Let's keep it rolling this weekend. We get it boosted this weekend because it's a pay-per-view.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did get asked a lot last week, because we didn't have a prop. Only have to use the prop for the boost, which is pay-per-views, which is this weekend.
How did you do last weekend?
I did well.
Like you personally? Yeah, go for it.
Show
Yeah, why
real
not?
quick? Yeah.
I mean, we're putting Paris to bed here.
I mean, let's put Paris to bed. Let's go ahead and take a look at the singles. 3-0. Then we get to the Cyril Gane submission. I am just making a career out of missing submission props. I'm really good at picking submission prop losers. Can't remember the last time I hit one. That kept me from having my first perfect weekend ever, because we go 4-0 on the parlays. Obviously, the plus 226 for the parlay pals. We hit the plus 239, French favorites, and then a couple others. That takes us to the final recap. UFC Paris, the biggest weekend since we started doing this, plus 7.58 units.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Wasn't even that confident going into it. We got some good breaks this weekend. Brings us to almost 48 on the year. Just short. 0.14 units short of 60. We're at 59.86 now.
Damn. What was the thing that I said? Didn't I ask you if you could hit 50 by Nate? Or did I say 60?
It may have been 60.
I think it might have been 50.
Maybe we will hit 60 by Nate.
What do you mean maybe? You're like
start
one
of the
little
card goes well.
Yeah.
We'll be there. Yeah, no, it was awesome. Awesome weekend.
Wow.
Right back to work for 279 though.
I hear there's some easy ones at 279.
There might be.
How are you guys feeling about the buzz for this? How do we feel like now that it's actually here, now that it's actually a thing near Quick? How do you feel about what's going on?
I don't think it has started yet.
Really? When do you think it starts?
It's not here yet. When Nate Diaz and Hamzat are in the room together, that is when this will really kick off.
Press
That's
conference?
when this will become a thing. Media day, even maybe if they have something to say.
Is that today?
On the same day about each other. That's today. Shout out to Jose Youngs, who's there for us on site, and then press conference for sure. Like that's when that's when this is all really gonna kick into high gear. This is one of those where like let's call it what it is. No title in the main event. What people are expecting to be a one-sided fight. It's hard to get up for that until you see them face to face. Until you know they're jawing back and forth. That's when we're really gonna feel this. So my prediction is this is gonna ramp up drastically over the next few days. But right now it's kind of tepid, I would say.
I'm very confused as to how this will do on pay-per-view because
Sure,
Diaz is beloved, but I feel like even his most hardcore fan like wants to support him, but also feels like this is not a fair fight and this is not the way his career should end. But then also you want to support him because he's your guy and maybe he pulls off the upset. And then there's the other guys who love Hamzat, but he's not really quite a pay-per-view draw. Like if you tell me this one did 250 because people want nothing to do with it, I believe you. If you tell me it hits 650 because it's Diaz and Hamzat, I really have no gauge, no sense as to how this does.
I think this will all depend on the next couple of days. If Nate Diaz walks on that press conference stage and smacks the mic out of Hamzat's hand, that's 600,000 pay-per-views right there. Like this is all going to depend on how this plays out for the next couple of days.
Is there any part of you that thinks that he could pull this off?
Why don't we do our parlay right now? And then I'll let you know.
Let's go. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Wow. Your level of interest, GC?
My level of interest is very high. Like I was discussing it on No Bets Barred with Jed. Shout out, great podcast. It'll be out very shortly. the level of interest, like this is much must-watch television for me. Like I have to be in front of a TV when this fight happens because I have to see what happens.
Of course, any of us are going to watch it, but I do want. By the way, big college football night. I do think that comes into play. Is it
probably?
Oh, you don't know?
That definitely.
Oh, I thought you meant is it going to come into play? Yeah, I mean, I feel like college football.
No, but like, are there marquee games already or not yet?
I mean, you have some top 25 matchups, especially like later into the year.
But is there anything big, or is it too early for that?
Alabama, Texas, but I don't know what time that kicks off. BYU Baylor ranked matchup late night. I mean, it probably will take away from the prelims. Like the prelims are lacking. They're going to be on before when the night games are on. Yeah, I can imagine that college football will take away from it.
All right, F it. Let's do it. Parlay pals.
Yep.
Frank, you ready, or you got things to do? I don't know if you're doing some modulating or checking.
Modulating, I like it.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people. I don't know what it is about Cardiff, man, but you're big there. You should think about
huge
doing
in Cardiff. Huge.
I mean, maybe a live show with
Cardiff
just Frank
Giant.
in Cardiff.
Call me, yeah.
All right,
here we go.
Okay.
Let's randomize this thing. Let's send it into the matrix. Here we go. 4 names. Boom. Number 1, Connor. Number 2, Eric. Number 3, Frank. Number 4, Ariel.
Golly.
Nice.
All right.
I'll kick it off. Let me just double check the old odds here. Thank you, Frank. Go ahead and knock the prop out of the way here. I'm going to take Khamzat Chimaev to win inside the distance, -450.
Sick.
Wow. So again, Khamzat inside the distance.
Yep.
I have a real problem with you guys, going against the feel-good stories of the weekend. You did it with Leon. You're doing it now. Why?
Do we want to make money or do we want to feel good?
Well, I guess the rebuttal is we lost money on the Leon feel-good story. I mean,
I would take that side again, and I will.
I would be shocked. I'd be shocked. But if this is a fair fight for 25 minutes or however long it lasts, no injuries or anything, I will be shocked if Nate Diaz is getting his hand raised.
You think so?
So,
37 years old, 4-6, and over the last 10 years, going up against like one of the most hyped up prospects in UFC history.
Listen, gets him down on the ground, a little scrambling action, leg locks his ass.
Leg lock, maybe. Khamzat is great on the ground, though.
I'm not
and
surprised.
even if Diaz loses, he still gets what he wants, right?
Well, that's the big question, and we're going to get into that. Do you mean like the freedom, the Jake Paul, the whole?
Yeah.
I think it depends on how he loses. I think if he gets out wrestled, then no harm, no foul. I think if he gets knocked out in the first minute, which I don't think happens, that's going to hurt him.
Either.
Isn't it weird, by the way, how the Jake Paul Anderson Silva announcement happens this week, and it kind of feels like those two fights are tied? Like if Nate wins, loses, walks away, Jake wins, that's the fight. If Nate loses, Jake loses, still the fight. If Nate loses, Jake wins, depends on how Nate loses. By the way, if Nate walks away, win or lose, Anderson wins, is there a Nate Diaz Anderson Silva boxing match in play? And there's the whole story there with Anderson beating his brother. It's just weird how those two completely sort of random events now feel very tied. Anyway, all right, so that's number 1. Who's number 2?
Number 2 was Eric.
I'm number 2. Before we hit the music, I just want to say, if you even take Nate Diaz out of that equation, right? Khamzat Chimaev -450. I mean, it's still kind of a justifiable play almost against most of his opponents, just because of the success rate that he has with finishing. Obviously, Gilbert Burns' most recent fight being an exception because he's incredibly tough. But you gotta like that. Gotta like that. Anyway,
25 minutes though.
Yeah, 25 minutes to get it done. My turn. I am going to go with one of my favorites. Long-time fan of this guy. I'm going to go with the one and only Kevin Holland. I like him in this matchup with Daniel Rodriguez.
Wow. Well, you surprised about this?
In the parlay, yeah, I am.
Why?
I don't know.
I like that one.
I love Holland here.
Kevin Holland. Go ahead.
Listen, Daniel Rodriguez, definitely he has some physical gifts. He's a great striker, no doubt about it. I think Kevin Holland is a more varied striker. I think he's going to have more to offer. And I also think when it comes to clinch game, potential submission game, Kevin Holland's leagues above. So that's where Kevin Holland's going to be able to mix it up. And I like Holland in this parlay. I do. I like Holland, and I like him at that price too.
What is the price?
Minus
I
195.
think he's
not on
nearly 2 to 1.
He's not on the thingy. Oh, there he is. Okay. Yeah, minus 195, Daniel Rodriguez.
I will say,
plus 165.
I think there are a lot of people who have been impressed by Daniel Rodriguez lately, and I'm one of them. I think he's a solid contender, but I think there's a level between him and Kevin Holland, and it's going to show on Saturday.
Crime fighting Kevin. Let's do it.
All right, there it is.
The man.
Frankie.
Yeah, so considering all the different matches there's a lot of good parlay picks to go for.
Okay.
But I have decided. Say it again.
No, I like this. This is good build. This is good build.
I'm going to go with Norma Dumont.
Oh, that was one of my
All right, it's a layup.
my candidates.
Ariel.
What do you think I'm going with?
Layup.
So
I know where you're going, and I want you to go there.
just for the record, Norma Dumont going up against Danielle Wolf, which is very strange because one of my best friends growing up in high school was Daniel Wolf, a boy named Daniel Wolf. And now it's weird that there's a female fighter named Danielle Wolf. Also crazy that Danielle Wolf is a product of the Contender Series, and we were told, quote unquote, that Bo Nickel. I mean, if you just look at their resumes, it's just absurd that one got in and the other one didn't, but we all know.
Also, if you go back and watch that Contender Series fight, it's
yes,
absurd that one got in and one didn't.
Right. So there you have it. Norma Dumont, of course, of Aspen Lad Norma Dumont fame. 410, minus 410 for Dumont against the plus 330 Danielle Wolf. So I feel like that's a good one from Frank. Just for the record, who do you think I'm picking fourth?
Chelton Almeida.
Let's go!
I needed it.
Chelton Almeida's on fire. Chelton Almeida's on fire. Why do you think I was going with that one, just for the record?
Well, he's the biggest favorite on the card outside of Hamzat.
Yeah.
1, 2, he's a killer. He's one of my favorite fighters to watch, so I was hoping that he would make his way.
Wait, why didn't you pick him then?
I was first. I saw the prop on the board that I liked a lot.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I would have gone with that prop if you didn't. Let me ask
so
GC
crazy.
this.
Yes.
So it seems like you're not as sure on Kevin Holland. Who might you have slid in there instead?
Oh man, I don't know. I like Kevin Holland.
The Leech?
I have a single on him. Oh, I do. Yeah, I mean, you're talking to a biased man here when it comes to the Leech.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty. You know what? I feel pretty damn good about Kevin Holland.
I don't want to sway you out of anything, and then Kevin Holland.
No, I'm not changing. I'm not changing.
Okay,
I'm a Kevin Holland rider for life. We're in
Leech,
this.
Jake
It's
Collier.
Holland.
The Collier campaigners are.
I was
out this
thinking about
week.
Collier. Yeah, I was thinking about Collier, but
I know, but
yeah,
come on.
Chris Barnett.
Then you're a real
there's
asshole if you're going up against Chris Barnett.
Yeah, and
Right.
also just could launch a spinning wheel kick and
That's true.
end it.
But nobody wanted to touch
He's
the
just a
co-main.
weirdo.
Yeah, what about the co-main?
Kind
Leech.
of thought. Yeah.
That's what we were just talking about.
Yeah, I'm sorry. A little slow
I guess
on
you
the
guys
answer.
didn't listen.
Yeah.
So that gets us to plus 164 on the parlay this week. A little bit less than last week, but we will be getting it boosted.
Now,
Let's
what is
go.
it? What is it when it's boosted? Do we know that yet?
20% boost. So I'm going to guess somewhere between plus 190 and plus 200, and we will have that up on Friday. They pushed us to Friday because the NFL starting makes sense, but you can get it.
What does that have to do with the 279 boost?
They only have so many boost.
Oh,
Bias.
really? Interesting.
Yeah, I
We
think it's,
throw a little Bills Rams action in there or what?
that's what I'm saying.
Minus 2.5?
At that price, I'll just take the money line.
Oh, okay.
Bills bar on Thursday. Meet you there.
Let's go. Where is it?
I think there's a few. There's one called All Stars that people like.
You're all in.
Oh my God, am I all in?
I love how it's just now all the teams are aligning for you too.
I feel like this is more fun.
Hey,
Could we get a Bills?
no comment on my dogs rolling
Knicks or Hawks.
49-3, but
Right,
you know,
right.
it is what it is.
We need a Bills. Frank, are you all in with the Bills? It has to. I mean,
No, he hates the Bills.
no, his wife is
So,
from Buffalo.
Yeah.
He likes
this-
making fun of her for it.
This is something I had to answer for when I was in Arizona. So my wife's family lives in Arizona,
Yeah.
and it was pretty much like get with the program this season or
Yeah.
find your way out of the family.
Wow.
Wow.
They
And
said
what's-
it gentler than that, but I got the message.
And what's your decision?
I'm
Yeah,
with
what are you
the
doing?
Bills.
Are you
I'm
leaving?
Oh.
trying to take her to go see them play the Packers at the end of October.
Oh, I thought you were going to come to the game I'll be at October 9th.
Yeah. No.
All right,
I'm not
fine.
making that one. It's
All
like
right.
a Tuesday.
I mean,
right?
No, it's not a cheat. What are you
would've
talking
been-
about? When do the Bills play on a? When does any NFL team play on a Tuesday?
Thursdays,
Never,
Sundays,
never.
Mondays.
Yeah,
Which day of the week is it?
it's a Sunday.
Okay, I'll see.
It would have been an incredible radio moment if he said, "Well, unfortunately, I had to leave the family and
Yeah, it's like just to double down on
shunned
my
the Bills,
hatred. No.
just to double down on the hatred of it."
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'll be on later. I was gonna do a little, costume change. I got my Zubaz here.
Oh,
Ready to go. You talk about
No,
Oh
man.
boy,
wow!
Look at the Zubaz, baby.
Did you buy that? Is that used?
No, it's real.
No.
Zubaz.
No, I know it's real, but it looks like it's like a thrift shop purchase.
What is this? I mean,
Wow.
yeah, it's Zubaz. It's brand
It's a
new.
new
though.
level of
I also got
shaming there.
So I tried to buy one of the chicken wing hats. They're sold out everywhere. You've seen them, the giant chicken wings?
Yeah.
Everywhere. I got a nice replacement though. It's like a
Do you mean a buffalo wing?
buffalo wing. This is like a big buffalo head.
Wow.
So I'm gonna wear this to the bars.
I've already been picking out your
yeah,
white
we're all in.
table.
By the way, isn't this a problem for our chances to win the Super Bowl? Given
Yeah,
your
take that off.
Look at the T-shirt. What I do is not buy a T-shirt. I had to do
what
other
happened?
things, so I got some sick
That's
merch.
true. Okay, that's
Got the
true.
buffalo head, and I got some Zubaz. I'll rock a blue shirt on Sundays.
did we have any influence in France with the T-shirts? Did anything happen? What's the latest?
Yeah.
I had,
where's
I had a
the-
Cyril
where's the
Gahn
curse at?
shirt.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
but you didn't
so
wear
this
it,
is the
did you?
lead.
I know, yeah, but he was a huge favorite, and when he got dropped, I was definitely.
No, there's no buts. You just proved
Yeah,
that
you
the
broke the
curse isn't
curse.
real.
All right, curse is broken.
Wow.
I
feel
love
like you.
it.
I feel like
Did
you
you
didn't
wear
get
the
credit
shirt?
for that. You were wearing the shirt during the card.
Actually, no.
That truth comes
No,
out.
it wasn't.
Wow.
And I didn't wear it
Wait,
on the
when
show.
was it worn?
Yeah. When was
That
it worn?
morning?
That doesn't count. You
Day
gotta
of.
wear it during the.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
But were you wearing the Usman shirt during 278?
Yes.
Yeah,
Ah.
I
Yeah.
told him to take it off. But
Wait. Now, is this a thing? Like, because you weren't wearing it during the card, does it count?
No,
I don't know.
think not.
I don't
think-
know. Yeah, I don't think so.
I think if he was conflicted about it, we would have heard about it already.
Yeah.
I thought I guess I'll have to hold off on ordering a Bills jersey.
Yeah. Don't do it, please. All right. Well, there's a lot to like. There's a lot going on. We just got our parlay in. That's very exciting.
I mean, I'm stoked about it.
I
love
like
it.
this one, except for the main event. Again, I hate it. Even the Cyril Gahn Tai Tuivasa fight, I didn't feel good about that one.
Hate it. Really?
Yeah, but it was a good win. What a performance, right? From
Oh
Tai
my
Tuivasa,
gosh. From both guys.
right?
Yeah.
Gets dropped in the second, comes back. Was Tai Tuivasa doing the rope a dope in the
Dude,
third?
he had to have. Like,
Was he
live in
actually
real
faking?
time. Dude, he threw such a huge shot as he started coming in. I don't know.
He was definitely hurt, but he's one of those guys who's really hard to stop. Had the presence of mind that if I bite down on my mouthpiece and fire back, this is the best shot I got right now, and did it. But yeah, he's a savage, man. He's a monster.
Unbelievable back and forth brawl. I really don't feel like his stock drops at all. I feel like you could put him in a main event. You want to see him against the top guys. The big question now is, and we could talk to Cyril about this, who he fights. Who does he fight now?
I agree with you 100%. If anything, I think his stock goes up because it showed that, like, look, he was a huge underdog in this fight against a guy that was an interim champion and somebody who just fought for the title against Francis Ngannou, and he looked like he belonged, right? He had him hurt. He could have finished that fight. He looked like he was actually somebody who could compete with the top level. I think there was a point in Derek Lewis's career where it was like, well, this ride's going to end, right? But at a certain point, when you're beating Francis Ngannou, not a great fight, but when you're beating Francis Ngannou and knocking out Curtis Blades, you show that you belong at this level. I think Tai Tuivasa had that type of performance where it's like, this is not just, a fun knockout guy. This is a guy who, against the top level competition, has a chance in there. Shouldn't have been that big a dog. So I think Tai's stock actually goes up. As far as who he faces next, I mean, I don't know.
I feel like there's two options.
Okay, hit us.
They want John Jones to fight December 10th against Francis. That fight, I don't think is going to happen. They still want John to fight on that card. So then plan B is Stipe. If Stipe doesn't come to the table, if he has no interest, if he's out of the game, if he wants to remain a firefighter, I feel like Cyril is the next guy. Now, the question then is,
for that.
does John want that? And at some point, John has to do something. I mean, it's been 2.5 years since his last fight, amazingly. So okay. And then if not, if that scenario doesn't play out, and I know there's a lot of if, then I feel like it has to be Curtis Blades, right?
You ready? The first moment he shot that one down, and I don't blame him. Like, I think Curtis Blades is a problem in the heavyweight division. and somebody I wouldn't want to face if I was on the cusp of fighting for a title again.
Who else
But
is there?
what else is there? There's not much else out there.
When you're that high up in the heavyweight division, I want to see Jones, Cyril. I mean, would that be the most athletic heavyweight fight of all time?
Oh, it'd be incredible.
Like, it would be so sick to watch.
There's an interesting kind of point right now where it's like Tom Aspinall's still healing. Curtis
Aspinall's going
Blades
to be
is
out for a year.
Yeah, and Curtis Blades is waiting for an opportunity, which hopefully he will get shortly. There's an opportunity to do Jones and Gane if it's available. I mean, I think everybody is kind of excited about and has been thinking about Jones Stipe, but like where is that fight? Like we haven't heard a peep out of Stipe.
Stipe is the big question. Stipe is the massive question. If he comes back, it's Stipe versus Jones. If he doesn't come back, I think it's Jones versus Gane, and then I don't know what you do with Blades. Blades has to wait probably, or fights like a Pavlovich type.
But haven't we been in this position for a year now? Like, what are we waiting on at this point? Like, what is the Stipe holdup? What are we exactly waiting for?
I don't think that. Well, the last I heard is they didn't approach Stipe yet because they want to do Francis versus John. Francis's contract expires like a couple days after that event, whatever it is, 280 something, December 10th, right? Francis ain't coming back. Francis ain't coming back. Now, the one interesting thing about the whole Francis scenario is at the beginning of this year, when Francis beat Cyril Gane in January, we all thought that Francis had this major leverage chip.
Tyson Fury.
Right. Doesn't seem like he has that anymore. Tyson Fury, I spoke to him on Saturday, feels like he is either going to fight Alexander Usyk and there's some sort of, gamesmanship there. If not, he's going to fight someone. And as we heard yesterday or the day before, he's like, Anthony Joshua, come fight me, which, by the way, I don't think is a crazy thought. And I actually feel like that will sell still, right? So,
yeah.
And I asked about Francis, and he was like very sort of like, meh, it doesn't seem like that's happening anytime soon.
The luster on Joshua of like this like guy who's going to be the next big thing and going to challenge Tyson Fury, that's gone.
Yeah.
But these are the two best guys that we can get in the UK is still there. Like that is still something that people care about, and Joshua is still has fans. Is still polarizing. Is still somebody that people are drawn to no matter what. So that fight is still humongous. That fight is still monstrous no matter what happens. It has lost a little of that like. This guy will be the undisputed number one, the king of boxing for the foreseeable future. That guy's clearly Tyson Fury. There's no doubt about that. That guy is clearly not Anthony Joshua. But Joshua versus Fury still is big to me. It feels huge.
Number one for me is Joshua versus Usyk.
Yes.
But there's like all this weird...
You mean Tyson, Fury versus Usyk.
Yes. Excuse me, Tyson versus Usyk. Let's rectify that situation. Let's finally unify all the belts. And then I don't hate the idea if... By the way, if Fury wins, great. If Fury loses to Usyk some way, somehow, and I think he wins, then do Fury versus Joshua finally.
Just do, for all we've been hearing, Usyk doesn't want this fight right now.
Well, you know what?
Do Joshua.
I think that's kind of not fair to Usyk, to be honest. We don't have to get too in the weeds on this, but like the guy just fought in August. Give him a break.
Oh no, I'm not judging him. I'm not saying. I'm saying right at this moment he doesn't want this fight for the timeline, which. Look, the guy's got belts. Like he can do what he wants. I think he should be like able to decide when he fights. It shouldn't be on Tyson Fury to pressure him to say, I need to fight at this exact moment. Let's fight. I agree with that completely. Usyk should be able to determine his own fate here. But if Tyson Fury is committed to fighting the same way we're kind of talking about, like John Jones there's got a December date there that John Jones is attached to. Let's do something. If Tyson Fury's put his feet in the sand and said, I'm going to fight this year, you could do a lot worse than Anthony Joshua. That would be one heck of a show.
Then there's also, of course, Tyson Fury versus Austin Theory, who he knocked out ringside at Clash at the Castle. So how does he factor? I mean, he was going to cash in the Money in the Bank, and he got knocked out. It was actually a really hard punch. I don't know if they were. I don't know. It looked very, very legit to me. So there's that whole situation. So I don't know what's going to happen there. What do you do with Robert Whittaker, by the way?
Oh man, what a performance by him!
Tremendous. But he's so far and away.
Yeah, he's
above.
the second best.
Yeah.
It's like
actually, according to him, he's the most dangerous.
It's Izzy, Rob, and then the rest of the division is like down here somewhere. They're all great. Look, I'm not trying to disrespect anybody. The middleweight division is very solid right now, but it is clearly Izzy and Rob head and shoulders above everybody else, and then the rest. That's
Costa?
just
what if
what
Pereira
it is.
beats Izzy? Do you do Whittaker Pereira, or do you do?
Oh, instantly.
No. You do Alex versus Izzy too.
4.
Yeah, run. You
Or 4,
could run it back. Yeah, you could run it back. But Robert immediately becomes that next contender after they settle? Depending on how it happens, and if they do the immediate rematch.
What about Costa? What about Costa Whitaker?
Contender.
I'd be down for Costa Whitaker. I've seen a lot of Vittori Costa. No, they already did that.
No, they did that. Yeah.
I saw a bunch of Whitaker Costa.
Costa.
I'm down for Whitaker Costa.
Now, the tricky part is last fight on Costa's deal. If he beats him, all right, fine, whatever. You roll the dice. But to me, that's the fight to make.
I'm down for that.
It is,
as they tied over until Izzy and Pereira figure things out, I'm cool with that.
If you're trying to manage Rob's career, it's like it's going to be a bunch of that. He's going to have to lap this division. Like it's going to be
in the Joe
same
Benavidez
thing
territory.
He's just going to have to beat every single contender until he inevitably gets a title shot. Nobody will be a bigger Alex fan than Rob right now. He needs that.
Should he go to 205?
No,
too big, right? Those dudes
guys
are huge.
too big there.
Yeah.
Although I saw that one picture of
like
Pereira standing next to Dominic Reyes.
Yeah.
Alex looked bigger than him.
He could go to
Taller
205.
Yeah.
Oh, he definitely
could go to 205
for sure.
Not Rob. I don't like that.
Yeah, I feel like it has to be Costa. One more fight. He wants to resign.
Well, yeah, it's going to be Costa, and then it's going to be.
You think he smokes Costa?
Yeah, if he goes out there and smokes Costa, he's right back to step one.
No, he won't get a title shot, even if he smokes Costa. I don't think he smokes Costa. I think Costa's too good for that, but I think he'll beat Costa, and I think then we're looking at, okay, let's say Izzy and Alex goes Izzy's way, then he'll fight Alex, then maybe he fights the next guy. Rob is in a very tough spot unless the title changes hands. It's just unfortunate. I mean, at the time where you talked about Joe B, at the time where it was Mighty Mouse and Joe B, I would have been fine with them.
I know you
doing
said
that fight
it many
10 times. Figgy and Moreno. Give me 10 of them. I don't care. I really don't. Those are the two guys. Now, I think Pantoja is kind of like creeping into that equation, and there's other things to be said. But like when it's Izzy and Rob that have separated themselves from the pack so much, like I'm okay if they do it again.
You want to see Izzy Rob again?
No problem, man. No problem with it. Rob is so good, and Izzy is so good. Like I have no issue with seeing the two best middleweights compete every single time. I really don't.
But at some point, it's not fair to Izzy. How many times does he have to prove himself?
I get it. Look, if Izzy, I would say it this way. If Izzy goes, I don't want to fight Rob. I've beaten him twice. Like I'm done with that chapter. I want to fight XYZ guy. Like pick the names and trying to call him out. I'm okay with that. The champ should have that right, and I have no issue with it. But at a certain point, it's hard to just for Rob to just be recycling through the contenders. Also, he's doing Israel no favors because he's knocking off the guys that could be Israel's potential opponents. So it really creates a weird,
Yeah, but for now, he's beating the guys who Izzy already beat. Vittori already beat Costa if they fight. So it's not
but they could have climbed back, right?
Yeah.
They, maybe not
Vittori.
He's got 2 cracks. But Costa, if he knocks off Costa, all that momentum that Costa could have had going to a rematch is gone now. It's a really weird and difficult scenario at middleweight.
All right, so we'll talk to Rob about it. We'll see how it plays out. Before we move along to our first guest, we've spoken so much about this. I have to ask you guys, level of interest in the Jake Paul Anderson Silva fight announced October 29th, Glendale, Arizona. I have to say, at least from the MMA community, very positive reaction to this news, right? I saw a lot of people very happy. No, New York Rick? I mean, you have your finger on the pulse.
I mean, obviously.
Oh, no, I don't know. I feel like anything Jake does, people roll their eyes at.
That's fair. That's fair. I thought the promo of him just letting Dana promote the fight for him by saying that was a masterstroke. Well done on.
Have you noticed something about Jake when he speaks? His fingers are like this, very stiff, and he puts the two together. Go back and watch.
Until you just said it.
Anytime he does something, go back. Do me a favor. Anyone out there, go look at Jake when he speaks. And this is, I don't know if it's a fighting thing. He's always like this, stiff fingers, and these two are always together. I don't know what it is.
A very odd observation, but now that you mention it, I can picture it. We wasted a lot of time pretending that he was going to fight Tommy Fury and Hassan.
That was really going to happen.
Yeah, they were going to happen if they made it to the fight. But again, who cared? Nobody cares. The excitement level for this is so much higher. This was always the fight to make, and now we get it. And I think, no,
look at Rick winning in this Jake Paul saga.
If Jake wins this, he's still, and I think this is to his favor. I argued this last time. I think this is to his favor. If he wins this, there will still be people who say he's 47. He's an MMA
are
fighter.
already saying that he's 47. The
It's
amount of people I saw
perfect.
quote tweeted,
It's
they were just like,
perfect.
dude, he's
He can-
ancient.
Now he can go back to the next, like, oh, now I'll fight a real boxer again.
But you
Or
know
he
they're
can
gonna
just
say
fight
that,
another
right?
MMA fight. 100%. And it's the best thing for him, because this is what it's funny to me that this is Anderson Silva is simultaneously the person that everybody's like, you need to fight him because he's a real fighter and he's going to beat your ass. But then if he loses, it's going to be, he was washed. Like, it's the perfect fight. It has always been the perfect fight to continue this Jake Paul momentum, if he can get it done. And if he loses to Anderson Silva, my view on it is like, you lost to a freaking legend of
Legend.
I don't
combat
think
sports who's a
it
really good
kills the
boxer.
Diaz fight. It doesn't kill a potential KSI fight. It's Anderson freaking Silva.
There are no stakes for Jake Paul in any of these fights, period, in my opinion.
Like if
I
Anderson
really
Silva
don't
just
think there are
goes out there
stakes.
and wins by decision, I don't think it hurts the Diaz.
No.
Like you said, KSI fight.
MVP belt on the line?
I hope so. I'd love to see it get put around Silva's waist.
Participation trophy on the line? By the way, press
yeah.
conference on Monday.
You'll be there?
Interesting figure will be in attendance. I will not be in attendance. I have a show to do on Monday, for goodness sakes. What do you think this is? But I'm curious to see how it plays out. I'm also curious to see, what was that?
What does that mean?
Someone
Who's going to be in attendance?
Someone will be there, but I can't say.
What?
I can't say.
Jake Paul Anderson Silva press conference?
This is the worst
What?
tease I've ever
It's a
heard.
tease. It's fine. Don't care about the tease.
Someone? I mean, give me something.
If I was managing Jake, this is what I would do. If I was managing Jake, he did that one video going through the resume, greatest of all time, this and that.
Yeah.
Throw that out the window. No one wants this. Okay, I don't want this.
Oh, the respect. You don't want the
Enough of
mutual admiration.
Listen, Anderson will never be a bigger babyface than he is going into this fight. The entire MMA community is going to want him to win. They're going to want him to throw the boxing rules out the window and front kick him in the face.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be rooting for Anderson to knock him out, right? He's the legit babyface. And this is Jake versus MMA, final boss status, Anderson, respect, this and that. But let's be honest, he should come in there and be like, I'm going to exterminate the spider. I'm going to end this legend's career. I'll be another legend killer. I'm going to piss all over the grave of Anderson. That's what people want. They want disrespectful problem child. They don't want, I get it for the first promo is fine. Let the people know why this is such a big deal. You met him 10 years ago. It's a huge moment for you. It's kind of like Logan versus Floyd in a way, right? It's like, wow, holy crap, how do we end up here? This ain't going to sell any pay-per-views if we're going to do the whole respect angle. I'm sorry. All right? And you could say this ain't WWE all you want. People want conflict. You have made this into a fight, right? You have made this into a fight. You have made this into you versus the MMA community, you versus MMA fighters, you versus Dana White, you versus the UFC. Well, here he is, the pound-for-pound king. Now all of a sudden we're going to be respectful towards him? No. I'm sorry. That would be a mistake.
I agree with you, but I think there's a needle. There's an eye of a needle you can thread, which is, I respect the legend, but I'm unfortunately going to have to put him down. I think there's a needle you can thread there. I think there's like this guy, the same thing as the tweet, but then you tack on just the fact that like, yeah, I'm going to have to unfortunately do this. Like, I think there's a way to do that.
Drop the unfortunately, I think. I kind of side with Ariel here. I think more people will watch if he just like goes full bore against the MMA community.
Hey, Dana.
Yeah.
Anderson Silva's blood is on your hands. You made this happen. You asked for this. You wanted this guy to go in there with a guy who knocks people out cold. When I knock him out on October 29th, I want there to be a camera on your face because this is your fault. You made this. That's what he has to say. That's what I would say.
I like it.
That's what I
was
would
going to
say.
say. That's a pretty good promo right there.
Thank you.
I'm digging it, but you can still respect Anderson Silva while doing that one, is my point. You can still say to him, in the interactions, like,
that's a good point.
Respect, like, you're the man, and I don't want to have to do this, but look what Dana White did. Look what the MMA fans did to you. They put you in here with me. I think there's a way you can kind of do it, and it'll be hard to see. I mean, it'll be hard. It'll be interesting to see how he navigates it. It's a difficult play. I think the thing that sells the most pay-per-views, you're 100% right, is if he just goes in there and straight disrespects him. But I don't know. I don't know if he'll play that. We'll see. I mean,
Anderson Silva minus 135.
Wow.
Any thoughts?
How do you feel?
lock it up.
Really?
I already took it a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
Wow.
It was even official.
What
I'm
about
riding with the MMA community here?
What about Anderson via some sort of stoppage?
Nothing out on that yet.
Nothing?
They just released the money line.
What do you think that'll be?
I feel like the decision will be closer to like I feel like the KO prop will be a bigger price than the decision.
Yeah, I could see that. But
Well,
man,
I mean, we've seen Jake is a chin. Like, let's not, you can think whatever you think about his boxing.
Woodley rocked him.
I think he's showing it, but he rocked him, but like he recovered. Like Woodley hit him with a nuke and he was fine. He ate it. Like the dude can take a punch. That is 100% true.
could you imagine telling someone 6 years ago when Anderson's fighting Michael Bisping at the O2 that in a few years he'd be fighting this kid who at the time was on the Disney Channel? I mean, it's a crazy story.
10 years prior, he's tweeting
like,
thanks for signing an autograph at a steak and lube or whatever it was.
Yeah, I was going to say, imagine telling Jake Paul back in 2011 that he's going to be fighting Anderson Silva in a huge boxing match.
It's a real weird world that we live in, but it's kind of fun. And it's crazy to see how this fight on Saturday, in a weird, indirect way, ties into that event on October 29th. It's very strange.
Absolutely.
I can't wait to see it. Talk about a fight that I have no idea how it will sell. That one too. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Because Jake's crowd is a younger crowd. Do they do those weird things that kids do online? But also I feel like as the build for it grows, the interest will grow as well. I don't know what to expect from that one.
The build on a lot of these is shorter. Like that's just the reality of the nature of how we, consume media, consume this stuff now. It's like the content starts ramping up the week of. Like right now, it's almost like irrelevant to talk about. Once the week comes, once the face-offs happen, those things are the things that start popping on social and then gets people interested. And it's like the build to a fight is a week these days. And UFC has that model down because they literally build it every single week. But that's how it is. Like once it gets here, it's gonna feel big.
I will say this: if Jake chooses to go the trash talk route, and we'll see if he does, I don't expect Anderson to engage with him because that's just not his style. However, Jake has never fought. He's never fought a striker like him. With all due respect to Woodley and Askren, he's never fought someone with his resume. Anderson has been around a lot longer. Anderson made his MMA debut in '97. Jake is born in '97. He made his MMA debut 6 months after Jake was born. That's how insane this all is. But here's the thing. Not only has he never fought a striker like Anderson Silva, and just go back and look at that Julio Cesar Chavez fight from last June, like the guy still got it, but he has never fought someone who has the swagger that Anderson has in the ring, let alone the cage, right? Like if Anderson gets into that groove where he's like doing the whole Anderson thing, I don't know how Jake is going to react to all of that. You know what I mean? That's a different kind of trash talk, mental warfare.
If you're Nate Robinson, Tyron Woodley, Ben Askren, there's got to be a part of you that there's some uncertainty. Sure, you're confident, right? Sure, you're like, okay, I'm gonna knock this kid out, and we're gonna end this Disney Channel experiment. But there's a certain part of you that has to be uncertain. Like, hey, look, I'm not a professional boxer. I'm stepping in here for the first, or did he fight anybody who wasn't the first time? Either way, but Anderson Silva has had a legendary MMA career, is now beating guys like Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., who is a legit boxer. He's not walking in there with any uncertainty. He's not walking in there with any fear like that his reputation is on the line against Jake Paul. He's coming to fight an opponent and have a boxing match. And I think that separates him from a lot of the guys that Jake has faced to this point. Like, what has Anderson Silva not seen in combat sports at this point?
I mean, everything. He has seen
Jake
everything.
Paul.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
That right hand.
Yeah,
Never seen the Jake Paul right hand.
Anybody who wants to disrespect his skills, you can go ahead, but he's a better boxer than Tommy Fury. He is. He just straight up is. Jake Paul is a better boxer than yes.
Well,
he's
we're never going to be able to confirm that till they get in the ring together.
That's a good point.
Yeah, but like he's not some dude who's just like flying by the seat of his pants and coming in here to get smoked. Like he's a legit boxer at this point, and we're going to see where he is skill level wise against Anderson Silva. But like this idea that it's just like it's just this cash grab where he's not like a real boxer. He's not training. He's not going to put on a decent performance. Like I don't get that at this point.
He could have fought a lot of worse fighters than Anderson.
Yes.
Right? By the way, Bernard Hopkins won 3 times past his 47th birthday. So we've seen guys win and be somewhat effective. Anderson has shown no signs of slowing down. He's not out of shape. He still seems fast. I know the win over Tito and the win just a couple of months ago, you know, whatever. But the Chavez one, as crazy as Chavez is, and as, you know, sad his career has gone, like the trajectory of career, you know, the drugs, the alcohol, the trouble, that was still a really impressive showing out of a guy who had like, I don't know, 50 something less fights than his opponent in terms of boxing matches. So
yeah,
pretty amazing. And I honestly can't, it's like crazy. We spoke about it on the show last year after he beat Woodley the first time and Anderson was just getting started in all of this and he was about to fight Tito. Like, what about Anderson? Felt like a pipe dream when I asked him about it. Can't believe a year later, we're actually here. Anderson Silva versus Jake Paul. It even feels weird saying it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Right?
It feels surreal. It feels surreal.
This is different than Woodley Jake. This is different than Askren Jake. It's Anderson freaking Silva, man.
Is this the first time Jake Paul is going to be an underdog?
Going in?
Yeah. I want to say
he was a dog against Rockman, right? But he didn't fight, but
no. He was a big favorite. He was like a minus 225
against Rockman.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because you were looking. Yeah, you were licking your chops to take Rockman.
Oh,
jeez.
Yeah.
I'll have to look that up, but I think this might be the first time that he's going to be a dog.
Also, lightest he'll ever be as far as boxing. He was 91.5 for the second Woodley fight. This is 187. So
it's going to be interesting.
Going from 205 to 187. Crazy stuff. I'm assuming you guys are going to want to talk about this on the nose section. So more of that talk to come. For now, we say goodbye to these gentlemen.